Good morning. Thank you all for joining us for the Planning Ahead for Engagement Year-Round Social Media Content webinar. Today is Thursday, May 12th, and we're so happy you could join us. This is part of our ongoing partnership with Digital Nova Scotia through Digiport. So glad you're here for the webinar today. My name is Nick Fry. I'm the Manager of Business Development with Tourism Nova Scotia. And for those of you not familiar with Tourism Nova Scotia, we are a division of Communities, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. We work with communities and industry to attract visitors to the province and increase tourism revenues through experience and sector development, business coaching, marketing, and visitor servicing. As well, our partners on this webinar and in Digiport is Digital Nova Scotia. They are the industry association for Nova Scotia's $2.5 billion industry digital technology sector. They have over 200 members and work with businesses from small to medium enterprises, multinational corporations, governments, secondary institutions, and just so happy to be able to partner with them on this webinar series and Digiport as well. I'd encourage you to ask questions. Dialogue makes these webinars so much better. So if you have anything, please pop it in the Q&A at the bottom. We are going to have this recorded. So if you have to leave or if you want to go back and review something, really encourage you to review this. If you think one of your friends or colleagues could get valuable information from this, please share it with them as well. All of our previous webinars can be found on Digiport, but also on our website at tourismns.ca/webinar series. Now, throughout the webinar, we may talk about different types of software, or we may mention something that you might want to check out. You don't need to feverishly scribble that down. We'll share all that information out with you after. Again, post your Q&A at the bottom and we'll make sure that we get the questions asked. We also shared your questions you had sent beforehand. We'll make sure that we get all of that covered. So again, I mentioned at the top that this webinar is offered through Digiport. Digiport is a partnership where it's a one-stop shop for the digital needs of the tourism industry. So it provides educational opportunities, there's program support, there's technical support, there's all sorts of areas where you can receive assistance in the areas that you may need help with. And again, that's nsdigiport.ca. So we would encourage anyone on the call to sign up today, check out the training, check out the programs, and see if there's any areas that you can receive help in that you're looking for. So really excited about Digiport, and I would encourage you all to check out and sign up. And today we have KA Social Media today. So Kara O'Coin started KA Social Media in 2006 after she graduated from St. Mary's University. She also has helped hundreds of small businesses and entrepreneurs, helps them succeed online, which is such an important thing to do nowadays. Kara told us that her most favorite thing to do is to brainstorm. That is what she loves to do, and hopefully she'll give us some insights into that today. Kara organized Blog Jam Atlantic, the only blogging conference east of Toronto, so congratulations to Kara on that. Kara is also an instructor with workplace education, teaching small business owners and entrepreneurs how to use social media to increase their online presence. I think we all know that social media is a critical part. It's a very important tool for all small businesses nowadays. So I'm so excited to invite Kara to the screen and to share her presentation and to give us some insights for this. So Kara, welcome, and looking forward to what you have to say today. And again, any questions that pop into your mind throughout, please put it in the Q&A at the bottom. And if something comes up later on today, send us an email afterwards and we'll get you the answer. I was going to say, I hope we didn't scare you off, Kara. We're going to get Kara straightened away. For her video, we'll ask Kara to turn on her mic and her video, and we will get rolling here. Perfect.
All right. Sorry about that. We practiced and then I forgot to go to the start of my screen. Technology in 2022. So welcome everybody, and thank you so much for coming this morning. I know you guys are all busy, but it is very important, as Nick said, to talk about our social media and to get started because your busy seasons are coming ahead. So as Nick mentioned, I'm Carol Coyne Mansfield. I'm the owner of K Social Media Consulting. I've been in business for almost 8 years. I'm a marketing, social media expert, lifestyle blogger, influencer, mom, wife, as we say, a jack of all trades. Originally from Camp in Cape Breton, so je parle français aussi. I've been living in Dartmouth, Halifax since 2001. Absolutely love the local movement and supporting local businesses. And I'm a proud St. Mary's grad, as was on my introductory screen. So one of my favorite things to do, and one of my two favorite topics that I love talking about, is social media and tourism. The fact that I can talk about both of them today, you are going to have me geeking out on all things because it is what I love to do. I'm not only here as a social media expert, but I really thrive on supporting local, appreciating what we have in our amazing province, and appreciating our natural beauty. I fully admit I was the one that grew up on the Cabot Trail with the ocean in the front, the mountains in the back, and did not appreciate it till I moved to Halifax, and I had to go about half an hour to get to a beach, which I'm used to seeing it in my front yard. So when I met my husband, one of the pacts that we made was kind of to appreciate what we had in Nova Scotia and to spend our money in Nova Scotia before we took it elsewhere. So you will see throughout this presentation pictures that I took of places in Nova Scotia that we have supported and that we have appreciated, because we have such amazing things in Nova Scotia. And I think that we just need to push that information to everybody to come see Nova Scotia and see what we have. So here are some of the pictures that I have. All right, so these are pictures we did last summer. So again, that is on the J. Farwell boat in Halifax, the zoo. We went to the Church Brewing, Sensei Spa, and these are the famous chairs that you see at the old in Wolfville, or outside of Wolfville. So the first question, or one of the main questions that I get asked every time that I am doing a presentation or when I'm speaking to somebody about social media is, where should I be? What platform should I be on with my business, my small business or whatnot? Where should I be? Should I be on Facebook? Should I be on Twitter? Should I be on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok? And the one big thing that I tell them is that you need to know who your target market is. So I know as a tourism business, most of your target market is the tourism industry. However, your target market is not everybody. And I know people want to say that everybody can book my business, everybody can come see my business. However, your target market is not everybody. So if you do not know who your target market is, that's the first thing that we need to figure out, because if you don't know who your target market is, you don't know where they're hanging out. If you know who your target market is, then it is important to go to where they are comfortable. If you are a business that loves TikTok, but your target market is seniors, they may not have any idea what TikTok is, therefore they're not hanging out on there and they won't see you. It is important to go where they are comfortable. If seniors are your target market, in this case, Facebook is probably the best place for you to hang out. So even though it is important and you can be on all different platforms, there are certain platforms that work particularly better for specific industries. And the tourism industry is one of those. These are the ones that work particularly well for the tourism industry. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok is up and coming. I know that you may not want to be on TikTok, but it is definitely there and becoming more and more popular. And then Google business profile. If you do nothing else with this presentation, with this workshop, if you do not have your Google business profile set up, do set that up after this webinar. It is so important for you to be on there and for people to be able to find your business when they're looking for something in your industry, in your area. The example that I kind of use nowadays is that we are not Yahooing that when we're looking for information. We are Googling. I'm going to Google that. And what happens is when you have a Google business profile, Google gives priority to who has a profile. So if you are looking for accommodations in Lunenburg, if you are looking for accommodations in Shedican, if you're looking for a restaurant to eat in Mahone Bay, if you have that Google business profile, Google will give you priority to someone that does not have that. So that is one thing that is very important. If you do not have that set up, please set that up. So we have now talked about about the different platforms and whatnot. Now we're talking about what can social media actually do for you, because everybody tells you to be on social media, but do you know why you need to be on social media? So here are the 6 main reasons why a business would be on social media. Lead generation, that is getting new blood, new bodies, new faces into your business. Build brand awareness. You want people to recognize your brand when they are thinking of your business. Like if you can see right now, like my brand colors are obviously blue and teal. You will see throughout my whole slide deck, everything is teal and blue. My background here is blue. It is very important to build your brand awareness. Client retention. Keep the current clients that you have coming back for more, coming back every summer or every winter or every long weekend. So keep the current clients that you have and let them know that you still exist and that you're still there. Email list building. That is also another thing that if you do not have started, you should definitely get started. So building your email list so you can send them emails and sell them specials and send them, we are opening this weekend. This is what's happening. So with social media, you can help build your email list. You can educate the public on your service and on the events and things that are happening. And then the last one, of course, is increase sales. Who doesn't want to increase sales in their business? So these are the 6 things that social media can do for you. Now, this is the question I get asked on a regular basis, and you may want to throw something at me at this point. I do understand. However, this is what the experts kind of suggest. It doesn't mean that you need to be on all of these platforms. I highly recommend that you're on 1 or 2 platforms and be very good at them, be posting consistently, than trying to be everywhere. However, these are the recommendations. So the days of posting every day on Facebook is gone, thankfully. But on Facebook, it's recommended anywhere from 3 to 5 times per week. On Instagram, 5 to 10 times per week. Pinterest, a whole lot. So 21 to 50 times per week. Twitter, anywhere from 7 to 21 times per week. LinkedIn, 3 to 5. Blog post. And then on TikTok, is very active. It is not to say that you need to do all of this. It is not to say that even if you are on Facebook that you need to post 5 times a week. What is consistent for one business doesn't mean that it has to be the same consistency for another business. It also doesn't mean that during your off season, because I know a lot of you are open from May to October, it doesn't mean that you need to be posting this all the time, 7 days a week for 365 days a year. This is what is recommended, and these are the baselines that you should be thinking about. So now we have talked about what platform you should be on, why you should be on social media, how often you should be on social media, and now we're going to talk about the why, and this is my favorite part. We're going to geek out on content and what should your content be, why you should pre-plan your content, and what exactly you can do today to help you out in your business during your busy season. So your content should be 80% of your post should inform, educate, engage, and entertain your audience. And while 20% should directly promote your brand, which means sales. This is one thing that we see very often, as many people just try to sell on social media. Every post is about selling. Buy this, book this, this is for sale. We all know that when you go into a store, and if you are attacked by, say, 3 or 4 salespeople when you first walk in, what are you going to do? For most people, you're going to run the other direction and be like, peace out. I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to deal with this. That is the same thing with social media. People do not want to be sold to all day long. So it is important to inform them, educate them, and entertain them about your business or your brand, and then throw the sales in there once a week. So if, for example, you're doing 5 posts a week, we have 5 different things here. So 1 post should be to inform them, 1 post to educate them, 1 post to engage, 1 post to entertain, 1 post to sell. Make sense? So why should you pre-plan your content? Why, again, am I here to preach that you should pre-plan as much content as you can? So first of all, pre-planning your content saves so much time. I know that it's at the start, you're like, Kara, this is not saving me time, because you have to do a lot at once. However, in the long run, This will definitely help you out. So you can plan ahead. You can look ahead and see what's happening in your business, in your industry, in your community, and you can plan ahead for topics of what you want to talk about. The second one is to batch your work. I absolutely love batching your work. And some of you may not realize what batching your work means. Do you know what meal prepping means? So with meal prepping, you make a whole bunch of different meals at once. Same thing happens with your social media content. So batch your work together. If you want to do posters, do the posters all at once. You want to do graphics, do multiple graphics at once. You want to find hashtags, find the multiple hashtags at once. You want to create a blog post, create multiple blog posts at once. Our brain does not like to multitask. It does not like to go from checking emails to creating blog posts to creating a graphic. It really doesn't like it. So set the time aside and do one thing at once, and then you will get way more work done. So avoid the multitasking, avoid the excessive scrolling. Who here has been guilty, and I am too, of I'm just going to go on social media. I'm just going to go on Facebook for like a minute. I'm going to find something to reshare, and then I'm going to post that. And 3 hours later, or 5 hours later, or 5 minutes later, you still haven't posted anything on your feeds, and you have just randomly scrolled. By pre-planning, you can avoid that. You can also post consistently by pre-planning. The more that you know what you're going to talk about, the easier it is to actually talk about it. So consistently showing up is the key to building relationships. The more often that you show up, aka the more often that you're showing up in somebody's feed, the more they have a chance to interact with you and know that you exist. This is an unlimited opportunity to be seen. This gives you a chance to make real connections. When you have somebody in front of you at your business, when they're checking into your hotel or your accommodation, your cottages, when they are walking into your restaurant, you actually have a conversation with them. You need to think of social media in the same way, so you can actually build real connections. By you pre-planning your content, that gives you more time to engage. It gives you more time to ask the questions, to respond to the questions, to go see if new people have liked your page. It just gives you more time than you banging your head against the wall trying to think what you're going to post next. So the third thing, which again, we all know this happens, by pre-planning, you can and will make fewer mistakes. It means you are working on your own time. You're working on your best time. It gives you more time to fact check, and it gives you way more time to check the details. It gives you more time to be like, oh, was that festival happening next week or the following week? Is there music happening at the restaurant down the street today or tomorrow? Are we having a special today or tomorrow? So again, by pre-planning your things, you can fact check, confirm the details, and it gives you way more time to check those. And it makes you look more professional because you haven't just randomly typed it out and posted it before you had a time to even think about what you were trying to post about. Number 4, it helps you make better quality content. And the better quality content that you make equals better engagement. It also gives you a consistent brand voice. I know that at many small businesses and tourism operators, there might be more than one person working on the social media. And sometimes you can really tell that there's more than one person working on the social media because things sound differently, they look differently, there might be some more slang. So it is very important to keep the same consistent voice so that somebody can't say, oh, it's Joe doing the social media, or it's Mary doing the social media. It is very important to keep the brand as one, and that you don't know who is doing the social media behind it. And then it's important to make quality that supports your overall marketing goals. And the 5th reason why we should be pre-planning our content is because we can track what works. If you are literally flying by the seat of your pants and you're posting just randomly, just hoping that it sticks, you can't see what's working and what's not. By tracking your content and knowing what you're posting about, you can check, are people preferring my post in the morning? Are they looking at them at nighttime? Do they like afternoon content? Do they prefer videos over articles? Do they like quotes? Do they like when we ask questions? Do they like when we post pictures of our staff? You can see what is working and what people are resonating with, and it makes it so much easier. So now we've talked about the how, why, what. Now we're going to talk about the content creation and how are we creating this actual content. You're going to hear the word plan on so many occasions during this workshop, and I geek out on planning. So by planning ahead, it gives you the opportunity to look at what is happening and what is important in your business. What events and launches are planned for your business? Is there a festival happening in your community that you would like to talk about? What are the big seasons? Again, do you have things that are happening in the fall, in the summer, in the winter? So what events are happening and what is important for you to talk about on your feeds? How do we start with your content calendar? And that is the first question. They're like, great, you're telling me I need to pre-plan. Where do I even start to think about that? My recommendation is to start with an annual overview. Take a calendar, any calendar. You can print some off online, like literally a blank calendar that tells you January, February, March, April, May, the whole year. You can find one that you buy at the store. And I want you to think about each month if there's something important in your business that is happening. Is your business very busy at Christmas time? Is it Valentine's? Is it May long weekend? Is it the fall? Do you have, like, for Cape Breton, for Celtic Colors? So what is happening in your business overall? So start with the overall annual. Start writing down what's important in your business. Once you know the overall of what are the things that you should be concentrating on, start collecting ideas. What are the important things? So we want to talk about our festival. We want to talk about our lunch specials. We want to talk about our new cabins. We want to talk about our new yurt that we built. Collect the ideas of what you want to talk about. What are the big things that you want people to know? If you had a potential client or potential customer in front of you, what would you be telling them? Then we take out a monthly calendar. So then we go more specifics. We go into the 30 days, and then you start plugging into their monthly calendar. So I am going to post 3 times a week on Facebook, and I want to talk about our lunch specials. I want to talk about the festival that's happening, and I want to talk about our staff. That's 3 posts right there. So start plugging that into your monthly calendar to see what you want to talk about. We are then going to talk about what is evergreen content and what is non-evergreen content. Most people don't know what the difference is, and when you should use one to the other. Evergreen content is content that is continuously relevant. It is your address. Your address doesn't move for most businesses. It is things that stay fresh for the reader. It is things that can be used on a regular basis without any changes. It is things like your business hours, which again, I know sometimes that changes during the off season and the busy season, but again, your hours, your location, your address, your website, your social media, your actual social media platforms. It is your staffing in most cases that doesn't change. It is your menu. It is your cabins, your accommodation, your boats. It is stuff that can be pre-done that you can use over and over again without reinventing the wheel. What is non-evergreen content is content that needs to change. I have this example that I keep on using. I don't even remember what restaurant it was. However, it was in Halifax, but there was a restaurant that a few years ago had a post that said, "It's a beautiful day in Halifax. Come enjoy supper on our patio." If you looked out the window in Halifax that day, it was piss pouring rain. That beautiful Nova Scotia rain that we all know that we get. That is something that was obviously pre-scheduled and should not be pre-scheduled. Things like the weather should not be pre-scheduled in Nova Scotia. We know how quickly that changed, and we know how different that can be from Halifax to Cape Breton to Yarmouth. So it is very important for stuff like that not to pre-schedule. So you can definitely do the in the moment content, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it is important to include some evergreen and some non-evergreen content to your schedule. User-generated content. User-generated content is some of my favorite content, and for the tourism industry, it is pure gold. So user-generated content is not you patting yourself on the back and saying, our business is amazing, please come see us. It is somebody else giving you that pat on the back, giving you that recognition, giving you that praise that you are a great business. Whether it's posting a picture of the food at your restaurant, whether it's posting a picture of your kayak rentals, whether it's posting a picture of the cabins they just stayed at. It is somebody else that is not paid to talk about your business. This can be done in pictures, videos, testimonial, tweets, blog posts, and everything else in between. These are everyday tasks that you should be doing and that can help you with your social media growth. That word plan. One of my favorite quotes is fail to plan, plan to fail, which means, again, it's like as if you're trying to throw spaghetti to the wall and hoping for it to stick. The more you plan, the more organized you are, the more it's going to work for you and the more that you will succeed. So we should plan your content. We should also plan engagement. And what does that mean? Like, I've had many businesses like, well, I post 3 times a week, but nothing ever comes from it. Like, I've never seen business. I've never had conversations. Are you actually going back and having conversations with these people? Are you answering their questions? Are you liking their comment? Are you checking to see who's new that has followed you? It is important to plan your content and posts. It is just as important to plan your engagement and to actually be on there and have conversations. Social media is about being social. It is not a one-way conversation. Use hashtags. I will be giving you guys a list of great hashtags that you can use for the tourism industry, but use them in your post. There's daily and weekly tasks that you can do. Again, a sheet that I'm going to give you to help you out to plan with your social media. Evergreen content. If there's things that you can do ahead of time, do it and save time in the long run. And then plan live content. Why is it important to plan live content? We all know how much stories, reels, and lives have increased in the last few years. People love to see a face behind the brand. They want to see, if I'm staying at these cottages in Liverpool, what am I going to see when I actually look out the window? Am I seeing the ocean? Am I seeing the mountains? Well, not in Liverpool. But what am I seeing? So they want to see a name and a face to the brand. They want to build trust and status among your followers. It is definitely known that people will start following you. They'll start to like you. They'll start to trust you, and then they will buy from you. So it builds extra trust by putting an image and putting actual humans behind the brand. And then it builds consistency by putting some live content in there. So what can you actually post on your social media? What works for the tourism industry? Quotes, behind the scenes, fill in the blanks, polls, getting personal, recommendations, tips, products and services, questions, staff bios, accommodations, and things to do. So what content can you pre-plan? This is where I'm going to geek out about all the content and show you some of my pictures that I have used and I've taken over the years in our beautiful province of Nova Scotia. Quotes. People absolutely love quotes. And I know that for many, they're like, well, I don't have pictures for that. Like, can I just grab random pictures off the internet? No, do not grab random pictures on the internet. First of all, it's illegal. There is some stock images that you can use. However, our province is gorgeous. There is no reason without, I don't know if you guys can see the phone over here, with these magical devices that we all have in our hands and cameras, that we cannot take some great pictures of your location, of your business, that you can use in your own marketing, that you do not need to go buy stock images that are not in Nova Scotia. These are 2 quotes that I found on the internet that, again, are used on a regular basis. So life is always better at the beach. This is at Shubie Beach in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. My kid is probably somewhere in there because I took this picture. Vacation calories don't count. This was at Dundee Resort last summer when we went for a little family vacation. So you can just grab some beautiful pictures of your own dining experience. People don't want to see a random stock image and then sit down and was like, that's not what I ordered. That's not what I thought I saw. People want to see what they're going to experience, what they're going to eat before they get there. So somebody might not realize there's a beach in Shuby. So if you're at the Shuby campground, take pictures in the area. So quotes, people love quotes. You can also include testimonials on top of that. You can include quotes from your staff, quotes that you actually heard people in your location. The next one is showcase your business. People want to know what they're signing up for. They want to know what they're going to see and experience when they get to your location. This includes accommodation, amenities, your rooms, things to see and do where you physically are, activities for kids, for adults, for seniors, your restaurant, your views. These are pictures that I took myself. This is Sugar Moon Farm. And at Sugar Moon Farm, I took the outside of the building. However, I could have gone in and taken pictures of their maple syrup. Their breakfasts are amazing. There is walking trails in the area. That's the one that I chose for today, but there's so much more that you could show what happens at Sugar Moon Farm. If you don't know where it is, you may not find it because it's very distinct. There's not much around, but once you get there, there's amazing things that you can do. This pool at Fox Harbor, who has seen this picture before? Every time that I show this picture of this pool, if I have not tagged Fox Harbor, where is this magical pool? And how do I get there? If you have amenities, especially that are good for kids, pools, ocean, lake, post about it. This is a room at the Bridgewater Best Western. There, if you can see over here, there's a nice big soaker tub in there. It's a 2-person jacuzzi. I booked that room specifically because that's what I wanted. It was a solo trip. So again, take a picture and let people know that exists. The train station inn. I don't know if you have kids. We have never stayed at the train station inn. However, whenever I'm in Tatamagouche, I do need to go visit because there's cute little trains and there's a gift shop and there's food. There's things to do, and my child absolutely loves that. Showcase what is available in your area. Dining options. How many people do you see going into your restaurant or going into any dining option with their phone? People are loving to take pictures of their food. The better you can showcase your plates, the more you will have people saying, I need to go eat there. So here's the Kiwi Cafe in Chester. Here is the Brooklyn Warehouse in Halifax. This, I think, was during Open City, which is an event that happens. It's happening at the end of the month in Halifax and Dartmouth. And then New Scotland Brewing in Dartmouth. Showcase what you have. I'm going to give a shout out to a business in my area where I'm from in Cheticamp and Labrie. Labrie has done an amazing job with showcasing how Instagrammable their plates are, their location is, their view, and they are capitalizing on that. So with the dining options, add photos of your restaurant or dining accommodation. If you don't have a dining accommodation, but you're a cottage and there's dining down the street, talk about them. Do you offer picnics? Do you offer dining on the ocean? I think White Point did that. I'm not sure with COVID if they did, but White Point has in the past done some meals right on the ocean. Showcase that. Do you have a basket that people can pick up as a picnic and go eat it? I feel you can do this at Peggy's Cove. I know you can do it at the Lighthouse in Liverpool. I know there's multiple places where you can pick up picnics and you can dine somewhere else. Make sure you're showcasing that and that you are letting people know that exist. Those pictures can be taken beforehand. Things to do in the area. I'm going to also showcase someone that's down from my hometown, Le Centre de Micarem in Granitang. So this is an interpretive center right on the Cabot Trail. These pictures were obviously not taken this year. It is not that sunny in Cheticamp yet. Things that just had snow a few weeks ago. So these are pictures that were taken last year and they're now using for this year. So these are events that that's happening at their location, and they're doing multiple events, which means that it's not just a one-time thing. So they have been promoting this on their website and on their socials for some time now. This can be redone. So if these events is happening on a Wednesday, that could be posted like once a week or even in their stories. It doesn't have to reinvent the wheel, but again, it is just showing what is happening in the area and where you can buy it. Another example that I'm not sure if Martin is on this call, I know you were supposed to, I was given this website from the Upper Clemens Cottages. This is a website called Stay Another Day, and this is created by the Annapolis Royal community, I guess, or area. They have grouped together to let people know what is happening in the Annapolis Royal area. You should stay another day. You should go have some meals in restaurants in the area. There's the historic gardens. There is a cafe. There are some cottages. There's an RV park. There is a brewery. Group together or get together with the other businesses in your area. How can you help each other out? How can you help each other stay another day in the Yarmouth area? How can you stay another day in the Mahone Bay area? How can you stay another day in Tatamagouche, in Cape Breton, in Lunenburg, Lewisburg, in Cheticamp? Group together. You may not need to have a specific website for that. However, it's not a bad idea. But get together with other businesses and help each other out. That can be created ahead of time. Polls. People love polls. People absolutely love giving their opinion. With polls on Facebook and on Instagram stories, you can make it very easily for somebody to engage with you where they just have to press a button. So some of the questions that I thought of for tourism: do you prefer the ocean or the lake, or could be a pool? Do you prefer breakfast in bed, or do you prefer to go eat at a restaurant? Do you prefer hiking or going to the beach? Do you prefer playing sports while you're on vacation, or do you prefer relaxing? Do you prefer picnic or restaurant? Having a staycation in your hometown or in your home city, going on vacation? Do you prefer cottage or camping? You get my point. There are so many questions that you can ask, and you can do those ahead of time. So those can happen, and you can create those in Canva, which we'll talk about. So you can create those ahead of time, and then obviously somebody has to schedule them, but you can do them and you can ask the questions. Here again are two pictures that I took myself. So at the Shuby Park and at Rushton Beach. So again, when you're asking the question of ocean or lake, you can use some pictures to support that. I've done before pool. So when I showed the Fox Harbor pool, I know there's an outdoor pool at Dundee. There's a few other places obviously that have pools that you could use that. Next are behind the scenes. People absolutely love to know what goes on in your small business. What is happening in your tourism business? Who is your staff that is working? Have you built a new cottage? Have you built domes this year? Have you built, what else has been happening? There's definitely, do you have a hot tub? Hot tub is a very big hot commodity, it seems to be, in the tourism industry this year. So this is a chance for you to show your guests what goes into making your operation a success. I think I saw Avila was here from Avondale Sky. Like, when are you picking your grapes to make your wine? Are you showing the process of bottling the wine? Are you showing the process of, we are loading up to go to a trade show? Show people what is happening behind the scenes at your business. Readers form an emotional connection with you when they see the work that you put in. This is the O'Coin Bakery in Cheticamp that has been in existence for over 60 years. People love to see who is working in the kitchen, what are they making, what is coming out, and what can they buy. Frequently asked questions. This is one that I found on Taddingstone Inn, and they have that directly on their website. You will have a lot of people that will be asking the same question. Instead of you having to re-ask or re-answer the same question all the time, have that on your website and then promote that on your social media. That can be done ahead of time. So it gives you a chance to address some common questions, and it cuts down on the customer service calls by answering the same questions all the time. Are you open? What are your business hours? Do you have a restaurant? Do you have availability? These are things that can be done, and then you can cut down and give you more time to do something else. User-generated content, as I mentioned. which again is so good for the tourism industry. So this is again us at the Oakland Farm Zoo. This is myself on the Interville in Judic, which again I had a retreat there. Beautiful spot in Cape Breton. And this is my friend Jen, who just did a partnership with White Point. So this is her and her family at White Point. So this is user-generated content. Yes, I think she was paid in this case, but it was still content that White Point then was able to share on their own feeds because she created that for them. So it wasn't White Point saying our new accommodations are great. It is Jen and her family saying they are great. So photos of guests and clients enjoying your property is identifying with people having fun. So it's not just you throwing a picture of your beach. It is people having fun in front of the beach. Just need a quick drink. Tourism Nova Scotia create some amazing campaigns for you, and they have worked with influencers that give you content that is available for you to use. Do not say that you created it, but it is okay for you to use as long as you cite it properly, aka use the videos, use the advertising campaigns that are public on YouTube, they're public on their feeds, share them, and use them to your capability. Like I had a look on YouTube on Tourism Nova Scotia before this presentation to see what was actually on there. There was a lot of content. There's a lot of content like 5 best hikes to go do in wherever, best places to eat. There's a lot. They did a lot of work with influencers in the last, I think, 2 years, and a lot of content is there for you to be able to use for your business. So show the local love, use that, tap that into your marketing. Have a look, see what works, and then schedule it in. Make sure you're tagging them. Local history and hidden gems. Every little town or village in Nova Scotia has something that is special about it and something that you're like, the tourists don't know about it because they don't know that it exists. So examples of that are the Seafoam Lavender Farm, the Tatamgush Station Inn, the corn maze at Noggins. I'm going to use the example again of Shetty Camp, where I'm from, the Gypsum Mine. For years, people didn't know about the Gypsum Mine. It is so popular right now. I don't know anybody that goes to Shetty Camp that does not go check it out. Showcase some underrated local attractions that get less exposure than the well-known spots. Did you go grab a takeout and then go eat it at your favorite beach, the beach that isn't known by everybody, a hiking trail? Promote the things that are in your area that you love and that you've grown up with and that you feel makes your town or your village or your city so special. Other ideas that you could use is caption this. Take some pictures and what do you think when you see this? Staff and your owners, people love to know, as I mentioned, who is behind the scenes. If you have staff that has been there for years, you've had the same, and I know this happens in tourism, and I know this happens in small towns. You've had the same person working the front desk at your hotel for 20 years. Showcase that staff. You have somebody that has run the local gift shop for 40 years. Showcase that person. Testimonials go a long way. You can definitely throw some client love on there. Repurpose old content. If you have content that was done last summer that is still applicable, reuse that. If you have some testimonials that were said last summer and they're still applicable, use that. If you've had, influencers that were in your area last summer and did some blog post, reuse that. So I just need a quick drink. So what can you do this summer that can help you out for next summer? Take all the pictures, all of them. So as I mentioned, this little thing, very often, most of us have this in our hands. There's some editing tools that are amazing that can help us out, but take as many pictures as possible. Have more than one designated person to take pictures throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout on weekends. Take as many pictures as possible and then dump them somewhere. It doesn't mean that you need to edit them right away. It doesn't even mean that you need to look at them right away. Have somewhere, so whether it's a Google Drive or a Dropbox, somewhere that you and your staff can just dump pictures in there so that you can go over them during the off season. Also take lots of videos for the same exact reason. Reels are huge right now. Stories are huge right now. Take as many videos as you can and then use them. There is nothing worse, like, oh man, I would love to showcase that. And whoops, there's nothing worse than wanting something and then you don't have it. I'd rather have more content than I ever need than actually missing out. Like, oh, I should have taken that. Get testimonials. Get the testimonials of people that are in your business this summer. Go look on Yelp. Go look on Google reviews or on your Google My Business profile and see if there's testimonials on there. Ask your customer questions. What do they like about your location? What do they like about your gift shop? What do they like about your kayaking tour? What do they like about your campground? Also ask them how they found you to know what works. Did they find you on Google? Did they find you on Facebook? Did they find you because a friend recommended you? Did they find you on Instagram? Ask how they found you, and that'll help you know what's working and what's not working for you. Favorite menu items. Is there an item that people have asked continuously over the summer? Ask or use that content because obviously people are liking that menu item. What kind of content can you create in the moment? Last minute vacancy. That is not something that you're going to be able to post ahead of time. If someone cancels and you now have a cottage available, or you have a campsite available, or your wine tour canceled, last minute vacancies are things that can definitely be done in the moment and can be posted via your stories or an actual post on your feed. Your daily specials, events or activities that are happening that week, that day, if they're happening at your actual business or in your area. If there's live music happening, if there's tours, new products or services, and user generated content. Those are the things that can be done in the moment. So we have now talked about all the content, and you're like, all right, Kara, that is great. Thanks for telling me all the content. How am I creating this content? These are tools that can help you create content. Some of these are paid, some of these are free. Some of these have both the options, and then it's worth paying for the upgrade. I use Canva. Canva is, if nothing else can I recommend, Canva can help your business in so many ways. You can create those graphics. You can create those stories. You can create those polls. You can create videos. There's so many things that you can create on Canva. You can also reschedule, like format it for different. So again, you can have the sizing for Facebook, the sizing for Instagram, the sizing for Twitter, whatever it is. iMovies is a great one for movies. If you have Apple products, I'm an Apple girl. I have the iMac, my MacBook, and my iPhone. Pixels again is great to do some. It's great to do some collages. So these are things that you will get the slide deck, by the way. There's also this link that'll show you different ones. What I recommend, go around and play, because what it works for one person may not work for another, but go around and play and see what works for you and how you can create this content. What is happening over here? Oh, not sure what happened. So the tools to schedule it, because you're like, okay, Kara, you've told me how, why, when, why, how. So I'm going to create the content. How am I going to schedule this content to save me time? This is another one that there is so many different options, and there's many factors behind it. Time, experience, budget, what functions do you want it to use? This is another one of trial and error. I definitely recommend, if you are a business that has Facebook and Instagram, the Meta Business Scheduler, so Facebook Business Scheduler, is free. And it can do a lot. You can schedule your stories, you can schedule your posts, and you can schedule on Facebook and on Instagram. That is a free one. It works very well. You can see it in chronological order of when you're posting the things. You can add hashtags, you can add videos. It works very well for those two platforms. If you are looking to do other platforms, so if you're looking to do LinkedIn or Twitter or TikTok, then you need to get into other different scheduling tools that there may be a cost to it. I absolutely love Buffer. I've used Buffer quite a bit for clients. I use it for myself. Hootsuite, I am personally not a fan of. I know some people that love Hootsuite. I personally do not like it, but again, try it out and see. I use CoSchedule for my business too, because I have a blog. So it works really well with blogs. So these are, again, on some different examples of scheduling tools that you can use. Again, there's a link to click that you can check. It is trial and error on what you prefer, what your capabilities are, and what you like to do. The one thing that I do recommend for Instagram is to have your own link. I know for many people, they have used a third-party source to have a link, but on Instagram, you can only have one link. So say if you're doing stories and you want to say link in bio, so you can only have the one link. So for me, for example, I had kasocialmedia.ca, but on many occasions I wanted to promote my planner or my blog, or I wanted to promote my Facebook group, or I wanted to promote to sign up for my newsletter. I'm like, how am I going to do that without constantly having to change the URL and then forgetting what I had on there? So I've created a link on the back end of my website. So this URL, so kasocialmedia.ca/links, you will not find that on my website, but it is on the back end. And what happens, I can make these changes. Obviously, this was an old picture that I used because there's no more Cyber Monday sale on there, but it is something that I can change. I can direct people to multiple things on my website. So for a gift shop, it could be, here's our location, sign up for our newsletter, here's where you buy it. We also have an Airbnb. We also have a restaurant. So it is something that, again, you can have multiple things on the one link. These are some tools that can definitely help you out. If you are a member of Digiport, you will find a few things on Digiport. If not, I've talked to Cindy and Nick, and we're going to send that to you tomorrow along with a slide deck. So this is 40 different ideas for your travel and tourism business. Have a look at it, download it, and then start filling in your calendar. This is a weekly calendar where I suggest different things. So on Monday, you can schedule your content. On Tuesday, you're following people. On Wednesday, you're interacting with current followers. On Thursday, you're inviting new people to your Facebook page. So that will be sent to you. And that is a way for you to start organizing your content and your life when it comes to social media. Hashtags. Hashtags is amazing and crazy, and there's so many of them. So with the hashtags, there's also a list that you'll be sent, and it is recommended hashtags for the tourism industry. I also recommend that you use your own hashtags. So for myself, for my business, I use hashtag #KSocialMedia. For destination Cape Breton, they use hashtag Visit Cape Breton. For tourism Nova Scotia, hashtag Visit Nova Scotia. For Digital Nova Scotia, hashtag Digital Nova Scotia or DNS. Use some hashtags that are specific to your business and to your area. I know there were some questions on influencers. I've talked a little bit about, I need a drink. I've talked a bit about influencers, how, why, and who you should work with. The one thing with influencers, do your homework. Know who you're working with. Know who their followers are, and know what you want to accomplish and what kind of budget that you have. So there is many big influencers. There are many micro influencers. I've done a lot of micro influencing in Nova Scotia. And every time I go somewhere, so I go to a restaurant or whatnot, I get asked questions because people know that I love supporting local businesses. So they know that if I'm promoting it, it's because I'm happy with where I've been. So make sure that, again, you're doing your homework. Who are their followers, like I mentioned. So if you're trying to get somebody to come to Mahone Bay or to Lunenburg or to Liverpool or to White Point or to, trying to think of some other places, but this person's followers are all in, say, China or the US, it is much better off for you to work with somebody local that has less followers, but their followers are local. So we can talk about it more. I think there probably will be some questions on this. But I just kind of want to mention it a little bit. So here is my key takeaways from today. Plan ahead. If you haven't gotten that from my presentation, the more you plan ahead, the better it'll work for you and it will help you in the future. Know who your target market is. Use the 80-20 rule. User-generated content. You need to ask for the permission to use it. However, it is great content that you can use. Use hashtags and emojis when possible. Use video. People love videos. Be consistent and engage daily. I'm doing a shameless plug over here. I have on my website, it's kasocialmedia.ca. I have helpful, useful blogs that I do bi-weekly and a newsletter to help small businesses and entrepreneurs learn the ins and outs of social media. It changes daily. I have some free downloadables and resources that you can use. And then I also created, if you are like, Kara, this is great information, no sweet clue where to start. So I've had this conversation with many people over the years. So I created a social media content planner, which you keep everything in one spot. It is a 12-month undated step-by-step strategy, goals, check-ins, writing spaces for your ideas, weekly checklist. If anybody on this call is interested, send me a message, post, and I can give you a discount on that planner. So build it and they will come only works in the movies. Social media is build it, nurture it, engage them, and they may come and stay. So I see there's definitely some questions on there. I think Nick is going to take over and we're going to dive into all the questions that you have about social media and tourism.
All right, here I am. Thank you. That was awesome. So much great information. So don't forget, you can come back and review this at any time. Anyone that has any other scheduled meetings, don't worry. Like I've said before, it is recorded. So let's start. So first question, is there a way to tag businesses in scheduled stories? I know you can in scheduled posts, but I haven't found a way to do it for stories. That's from Daniel.
No, if you're pre-scheduling stories, I don't know that it would, I don't think that it does, because what happens, you can definitely, you can tag it, but I don't think that the actual like tagging people to click on it does work, unfortunately. So there's things that you can do that are great to pre-schedule ahead of time, and there's some things that are not. So I personally, I try to do my stories in real time, just for the sheer fact of those specific things, for the fact that I want to make sure that I'm having the conversations and that I'm tagging the right people. One thing I did not mention too, please do not schedule your content on Instagram or your stories and then go share directly to Facebook, because those tags do not work from one to another. They do not carry over.
Okay, that's great. Next question from Terry. Hi, Kara. Should we coordinate our Facebook and Insta posts with our blog theme?
With your blog theme?
Yeah. Now this came in right close to the start.
Okay. Yes, I'm not really sure that I understand. I think I would need more information on the actual
okay.
context of it.
Okay, sorry to cut you. We have a few more questions, so we'll go to that. And Terry, if you want to add some context there, we'll come back to it. So next question will be visual content. Pics we take personally. Please speak to the legal issues and guidelines around taking pics of people in local properties areas, i.e. permissions, etc. for the pics we want to post. That's from Deborah.
So again, that's a great question to ask. But in my opinion, you are much better off taking your own pictures than grabbing pictures off the internet, because again, nobody can come sue you for your own picture. When it comes to people, especially kids, and showing their face, I think most businesses nowadays, like I think you're kind of expected that pictures could be taken of you if you're out in public. I wouldn't go to somebody's face, like literally to their face and take a picture and use it. But if they're in the background, that is, to me, and again, I'm not a lawyer, maybe talk to a lawyer. But to me, if I'm at a beach or somewhere's local, I expect that it's going to happen nowadays with social media. So again, talk to a lawyer around that.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, we're talking about like your personal pictures. I mean, if we're doing a shoot with tourism, and we were just talking about this the other day, and you know, you're at like a big event, you'll put up notice of filming, kind of like we are filming or taking shots, and if you're here, you're going to be in the photos, more of like a group shot thing. So I agree with your feedback there. Another item I was going to plug is that you do have access to Barberstock, which is the images that Tourism Nova Scotia, our visual assets catalog. So you know, if there is some shots you've seen, or you know, you want to promote your area on your website, social media, you can of course use your photography you take yourself. But if there's, you know, an amazing beach like right down the road, and you know that we have an awesome shot, then you can take it and use it. Of course, there'll be some things you'll have to to say where you got the photo. But yeah, you're more than welcome to use that photography as well. So I wouldn't categorize that, Kara, as stock photography
No, I wouldn't either.
as much as I would call it just really it's really high quality content. Of course, it won't be the only one using it, because anyone can use it, right? But it does help to build that story of what you have to offer and what your area has to offer. So never hope that answers your question. And
Yeah.
we'll
The only thing I will add to that, again, if you are using those not stock images, but the images from Digital Nova Scotia, or sorry, from Tourism Nova Scotia, is just to make sure you're tagging, just to say again where the picture came from, and say like, this is a great picture that I found on. Yeah. So again, it's okay if you are allowed to use it, if you've been given the authority to use it, then yes, use them. I've looked at those pictures; they are amazing. And again, they're way more quality than I can ever take, because some of them are from a drone, or if they're from a much better camera that I have. So use what is available to you.
Yeah, and I think it would. I think it will tell you what kind of acknowledgements you need to make, and I know that we have some of our other staff on the line here. So if there's anything that you want to add in the chat around how to give credit for TNS photography, please drop it in the chat. All right. So our next question would be. That Lawrence said Canva upgrade allows for scheduling on all platforms.
Yeah, Canva. I do not recommend the paid Canva anymore. It is what runs my business. I do not schedule from there, but you can, 100%. I just have been using Buffer and CoSchedule for years. So I'm just a creature of habit, and that's what I like to use. But 100% it is working from there.
If it works. All right. So another question from Terry. Hashtag, and then Terry did give us some context. So we're going to cover both the Terrys now. So hashtag, is there a minimum maximum you recommend? I've seen 20, and yet in one webinar, they suggest only 4 or 5.
So it depends what platform. On Twitter, obviously, you only have 280 characters. I recommend at the very max 4, because you still have to have a conversation. Like, there still has to be meaning to your actual caption. When it comes to Instagram, you can put up to 30. You can actually put up to 30 and then put more in your captions. Trial and error. So I usually recommend 10 to 15. Sometimes it again is the 4 and 5. Some people do put the 30. Everything is trial and error. And it also depends what hashtags are you using. So I always recommend also know what's the context behind it. But if you're a business in Halifax, hashtag Halifax is used multiple times. Hashtag Nova Scotia, multiple times. So again, I recommend using those and then seeing again what other context is it with your message. So the second question from Terry, which I looked, was if I'm blogging on a specific day, trip this week, should my Facebook and Instagram content align with that blog? 100%. So as I mentioned, I blog every 2 weeks. Every second Tuesday, I do a blog post about a different social media topic. On that Tuesday that it's coming out, that is what my social media is about. I'm promoting that blog post because, again, blogs are great. You need to tell people they exist. So if you do not tell people that it exists, how do you expect somebody to go find your blog post? So 100%, you can definitely have your Facebook and your Instagram on that blog post, and then you can do stories around it too.
Thank you. My apologies. I was trying to post some additional information in there about contacting Sunny Bray, and some of our next week's webinar came up. So, but what the information would be is that to contact Sunny Bray, sunny.bray@novascotia.ca to find out more information about the digital assets library and how to access it. But all the information is there on how to access it. That's great. For all the questions so far. Matt McNeil says, what's the best way to research and find medium-sized influencers?
Okay, sorry, Nick, you kind of zoned out on there. I didn't hear half the question.
Oh, that's okay. What is the best way to research and find medium-sized influencers?
So there is a lot of people such as myself and some agencies that do work with influencers. I know that Tourism Nova Scotia works with a lot of influencers. So sadly, there is no master list. I wish there was a master list that you could go through and see. But I think, again, is asking the question. So with Tourism Nova Scotia, I know you guys have worked with quite a bit of people. So maybe ask the questions to Nick or ask the questions to myself. Who are the people and who represents your area? So Matt, I'm not sure what area you're in, but I know that I definitely recommend some micro influencers and some bigger influencers. It also depends what your budget is. So if your budget is $500, then you probably are not sadly getting somebody that has the thousands and thousands of, the over the 100K followers, because they're probably at the level where they're charging more. So it really depends what your budget is, what you're trying to accomplish with them. And then, yeah, you can find them on social media. You can start following them and see who they're talking with. Again, one way is to look at the hashtags. Like I remember Tourism Nova Scotia, I think 2 summers ago, I'm trying to remember, did a massive work with influencers, and myself being nosy, I was like, oh, who else is part of that? So I started following the hashtags. And then I was seeing who was using that hashtag. Therefore, I knew who they were working with and who was promoting different areas of the province. But I also didn't mention it too. I'm also a supplier or somebody that you can book on Digiport, and there is some one-on-one time there. If somebody really wants to sit down and hone in on your hashtags, who should you work with as influencers, what your content should be, book that one-on-one time, and we can definitely discuss your specific business.
And those one-on-one appointments are no charge to the business. Let's see. Oh, right. So we also have, does using hashtags really make a difference? Why and how? That's from Jane.
So hashtags do, especially in different platforms. So again, on Facebook, do they work? Not really. On Instagram and on Twitter, yes. Hashtags is a search, it's searchable. So for example, if I wanted to know like who's using the hashtag visit Cape Breton, who's in Cape Breton today, and I go check on who's visiting Cape Breton or who's using the hashtag visit Cape Breton, then I could see who else has talked about it. Maybe I'm finding a new business in the area. Maybe I'm finding a new restaurant in the area. Maybe I'm finding a new accommodation in the area. Same thing for like in the Yarmouth area. I know I say visit Cape Breton because I'm from Cape Breton, but I know there's visit Nova Scotia used quite a bit. There's visit Yarmouth, there's visit South Shore, there's visit I was finding the other night. I think there's like a Lunenburg, there's a bunch of visit whatever. But yes, it is good to group yourself with the other businesses in the area, because then people are finding, oh, I'd like to go to this area, excuse me, because they have this and this and this. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, of course. I think that yeah, I mean, it's perfect answer, because, it's where it's relevant, and, things are often trending based on hashtags. So, that's just shows you the relevance of it. So this was from Deborah. I was thinking about how business owners might feel about me taking pictures of their property, et cetera, for my promotion without at least asking permission first. But other context was not everyone wants to see themselves online. Mom's concerned about their kids asking or getting their permission first. Of course, these are identifiable pics. Can I just before Kara jumps in, I mean, we've all go around and take a shot of if we're at a brewery or a restaurant, and I think that they would probably be happy that you're taking the shot of their business. And I guess, I mean, unless you're going to go up and just kind of take a picture of someone right to their face, which likely won't happen, that's where you would get into that situation. But I think that I'll let Kara jump in here, but that's just my initial thoughts on that one.
Yeah, so same thing. So this is where I think it's kind of expected. But if you are going into the business, you can let them know, like talk to the business owner. I've had people ask me like, what are you doing, ma'am? And I'm like, oh, I'm just out here, and I'm out in the area, and I wanted to promote the area. So most cases they're okay with it. This is again where you can work together. So instead of you using, if you want to promote the restaurant down the street, I'm not sure what your business is, Deborah, but if you're trying to promote the restaurant down the street or the cottage down the street, share their things from their social media. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can use their content, but give them credit for it. So instead of recommending like yourself going to take a picture, which again, you can definitely do, but use what already exists. Does that make sense? Like, I don't mean going on their Facebook and stealing their picture, but if they're posting about their accommodations, saying they have some openings that weekend, reshare that post on your own post.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
And as far as, I think you asked about the moms concerned about their kids. Kids is a whole other ball game. So yeah, I wouldn't take pictures of kids' faces without the permission. If you're at a park, like you saw, I used a picture of Shuby Beach. I obviously didn't ask anybody there for that picture, but I'm taking it from the back. I didn't go take, so I also take a lot of pictures of my own child, but I make sure that if I am taking a picture of my own child and I'm posting it, that there's no other kid's face in the back that can be found. So I think that's just common courtesy.
That's great. So are there any other questions? That was really great. A lot of really, really good ones. And maybe we'll just try to find out on our side a little more information about that. I understand if it's in public, it's kind of fair game, but I guess we'll have to find out the exact, it never hurts to ask, of course, if it's very, very targeted or specific. So last chance, anyone has any more questions? And if, like I said, something pops up later today, you can always come back and we will make sure that we help you out on getting that answer.
Yeah, and perfect, Nick, for putting the Cynthia's information in there, because I know I have a lot of people that ask all the time, and I wasn't sure who to connect them with.
Sure.
So,
That's, thank you, Sunny, for that. We have a huge team behind us here on the webinar, just making sure that we can share the relevant information out to people. So thank you for the TNS team that are helping. And if that's it for now, I will take back over the screen. Just give me one sec. Okay, so thank you. So just takes a second to get back there. Perfect. So our next webinar is going to be Thursday, May 26th at 10 a.m. of course, choosing the right website building platform for your business. So this is a question we get a lot, and we have some programs available like the Website Bootcamp and also the Tourism Digital Assistance Program that will assist with these type of things. But it'd be nice to know if you want to do it yourself, like what's the best program to do that with. Now we have so many webinars, we have so much opportunity to kind of work together, and we share all that information in our Tourism Nova Scotia News and Resources newsletter. So we send that out, and if you'd like to sign up for that, you can check out our website at tourismns.ca/news-resources. So oftentimes people will tell me, oh, I didn't know about this, or I wish I would have known. So if you want to know, sign up for our news and resources, and that's where you'll find out where all the relevant information is. Our previous webinars are available, tourismns.ca/webinar-series, and they're all there. And want to encourage people to check out if you're interested, the Radiate Tourism Program does end today at 4, so applications close at 4. If you're interested in that program to develop and promote packages that appeal to the local and maritime travelers, you get research in tourism Nova Scotia, partnership, coaching and support. Check that out. The link is there, and I'll also ask Jennifer or Cindy just to pop that into the chat, because I just don't want to click on the screen and then mess that up. So if you guys can put that in the screen in the chat, that'd be great. Also, just go to our website and it'll be there. We also have the Tourism Digital Assistance Program. So increase your visibility online and provide services to customers what they want. So you can sign up for this program. The applications close Wednesday, May 18th at 4. This provides up to $5,000 in services. So this isn't a program where a consultant will tell you what you need to do. This is the program where you will receive the actual work you need completed. So it could be online booking, it could be a new website, it could be search engine marketing, it could be photo video. There's so many different things covered that I really encourage everyone on this webinar to check that out. And if you have any questions, give us a call, but it is open until next Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Stay connected with us. So send us an email, tnsbusiness@novascotia.ca if you can think of any great ideas for what we should cover on maybe some of our future webinars. Our corporate website, tourismns.ca. Consumer website is novascotia.com. So that's where we send all of our potential visitors. Our corporate website is tourismns.ca/news and resources. On Twitter, you can find us at TourismNS, and on corporate LinkedIn, we are Tourism Nova Scotia. Thank you for joining us today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please share this with any colleagues that you think would find value in it, and I hope to see you for the next webinar.